Have you been dreaming of starting your own art business, but wondering when is the right time to start laying the foundation for your business in order to really get started in strength? Well, I get that question a lot, and I'm going to talk about the details of why it's never too early to lay a solid foundation here on 5-Minute Mentoring. Have you ever wanted to have someone in your life who you could ask real questions about your art, your business, and even your walk with the Lord? Well, that's exactly what we do every Friday here on 5-Minute Mentoring, where I answer one question from one of my awesome podcast listeners in order to help you start really thriving as the artist you know God created you to be. Well, hey there, my friend. I'm really glad that you're with me today here on 5-Minute Mentoring. You know, I get the question a lot from artists who are trying to start or thinking about starting their own art business. Maybe they've been selling a little bit of art on the side, or even just dreaming about selling some art on the side and, starting a side hustle, starting a full-time job, transitioning into really being a full-time artist, wherever you might be. But one of the questions I get a lot from people is, Matt, when is it like time that I need to like start thinking about the things that you're teaching, marketing and developing a brand and starting to do Facebook Lives? And when do I need a website? And what does it mean to really thrive in the kingdom? What do I need to understand mindset wise in order to really get what it is that God's got for me? All that kind of stuff. And I always tell people this, listen, it's never, ever, ever too early to lay a solid foundation. All right. And there's three main reasons that I want to touch on today. All right. The first thing is this: as you start working on your business and working intentionally on your life as an artist, again, spiritually, artistically, and in business, you begin to gain confidence in an accelerated way. I'm telling you, once you start to get some success under your belt, you start seeing people respond to what you're doing. You start facing those fears of technology. You start actually getting out there and doing the stuff. All of a sudden, there's a confidence that comes. And listen, that is not something that can be bought, and that is not something that God's going to supernaturally just download to you. It comes with the territory. As you step out, God is there to release grace and confidence in your life equal to the task that you are pursuing. So gaining confidence is a huge, huge reason why it's never too early to lay a solid foundation. The second reason is this: it's actually like building this incredibly long, beautiful runway. All right. A lot of people think that, they're going to build this great plane of an art business, and all of a sudden they're going to take off and just be like, yeah, it's awesome. I'm selling millions of dollars of art and it's going to be great. Well, listen, here's the deal. Your plane will never get off the ground without a runway. You've got to have a runway to begin to build up speed and accelerate in order to take off and be who God's called you to be. And as you're laying a foundation, again, spiritually with your mindset and with your heart, understanding how the kingdom works, how money flows, how to connect with the larger move of what God's doing in the earth and raising up this army of artists, and then all the marketing stuff and business stuff and art stuff that it takes to really thrive as an artist. As you do that and start laying that foundation little by little, day by day, increment by increment, it's like building this incredible runway so that when you're ready to pull the trigger, to push the accelerator, to take that plane down the runway, you are ready, all right, in an incredible way to take off and really, really soar as an artist, all right? The third thing is this, all right, and this is a guy thing, but I don't think it is. Laying a healthy foundation early on avoids do-overs. I don't know if you're like me, but when I get, I don't care what it is, a curtain rod, a bookshelf, whatever it is, a piece of lawn equipment, whatever it is, I never look at the instructions. I always just jump in and start doing it. And inevitably, I don't know why I don't listen to myself. Inevitably, I get to the point where I have put this thing together backwards, or I use this screw for that, and I got to take the whole thing out and redo it, and it wastes time. It makes me frustrated and all this. And I'm like, I could have just read the directions. Well, listen, laying a solid foundation in your spiritual life, your art life, and your business life is a guaranteed way to avoid a bunch of unnecessary do-overs in your life. Otherwise, you're forever trying to figure things out on your own and then having to come back weeks, months, even years later and undo bad habits, negative patterns of thinking, ways of doing things that may have been much more complicated than if you had just asked somebody that knew what they were doing. You could have done it a whole lot more simply and a whole lot more in a whole lot more less time. So I want to encourage you, all right, as you're thinking about laying the foundation in your life as an artist, make sure that you are intentionally laying a foundation that's going to be strong and that it's going to be developed early and incrementally so that as you grow, you're growing in strength. Now, listen, I would be remiss to not invite you to a wonderful opportunity that's going to help you do exactly that. It's called the Artist Rise Up Masterclass and Art Challenge. It's actually starting right on September the 22nd, which is coming up very, very quickly. All right. In this masterclass, I'm going to be talking about the rise of the thriving Christian artist, what that even looks like, what God's up to in the earth in this movement of raising up an army. I'm going to be talking about the marks of a thriving Christian artist. What are some of the real marks that you can look at and say, these are the things that should be happening and that will happen in artists' lives who really press into the Lord and focus on thriving. What are the things that are the 5 biggest roadblocks? All right. We're going to be taking those apart and helping you to understand how to overcome those. We'll also be talking about how not only to get breakthrough, but how to get accelerated and sustained breakthrough in your life. Not just, roller coaster Christianity up and down, but no, going from glory to glory. And then also we're going to be talking about really practical ways to take your place in God's army of artists and what he's doing. Again, it's a perfect opportunity to lay a solid foundation in your life as an artist who wants to be everything God's called you to. You love Jesus. You want to link arms with others around the world who are doing the same thing. You got to be a part of Artists Rise Up. All right, listen, it's absolutely free. It's in the context of a private Facebook group. We're going to be creating art together. I'm going to be teaching. You'll have an opportunity to not only meet a ton of other artists and me inside the group, but also ask me questions during the masterclass. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. All right. At the end of that, I'm going to be opening the doors for our Create to Thrive Artist Mentoring Program, which only opens twice a year. And this is one of those times. And you're going to get all the information on that as well. So listen, join us for Artists Rise Up. You can get all the information at the link that's right here in the show notes and become a part, get in the Facebook group, start meeting people, and have a great, great time with us inside the Artists Rise Up Masterclass. All right. I love you, my friend. I hope we see you in there. And until next time, remember, you were created to thrive. All right. Bye-bye.